Hello, everybody. We're the Jeep Life Podcast, and we're doing our live Facebook and YouTube warm up.
Episode.
420.
It's number 420.
420.
That's cool.
That's cool.
We've been doing this for a long time. Man.
Yes, we have.
Holy crap.
Yes, we have.
We're still with it, too.
Like full in. like
How?
full in, submerged in the water, kind of in. Yeah. What's up, Mike?
What keeps us coming, Mike Gonzalez?
He's what keeps us coming back.
That is true. You know who we haven't seen on here in a little while? Canada.
We haven't seen no, maybe 3 or 4 episodes ago.
3 or 4.
Yeah.
Life gets busy, man.
It does. And the conversion rate from Canadian to American is tough.
Yeah, it is. Doesn't flow through the waves correctly. Hey, Troy.
Oh, what's up?
We're going to be seeing him soon.
Yes, we will. Yes.
We'll be in touch.
Now, what I don't know is if I think Troy's moved officially. I think because he was selling his house and moving.
Right, I remember that.
I saw his house posted on.
That doesn't stop him from attending Jeep shows.
No, it definitely shouldn't. No. He's selling his house, and it was such a nice house. I'm like, oh man, I'd love to get a hold of that.
Wow.
But it's a long ways away.
Yes, it is. You'd be really far away from me.
Yeah. All right. So I knew he changed jobs.
Mm-hmm.
But he hasn't moved yet. I think.
Gotcha.
Sell first, buy second.
Yeah. That's usually what has to happen.
Yo, Jake, what's happening? You know what we didn't? We need a little mini fridge down here.
We do.
Maybe one of our listeners could get us a mini fridge and send it to us.
Or we just use the 3.
Right. I have one at this house.
You have a full-size fridge.
Yes. It's out in the garage.
It's not yours anymore, by the way. It's not yours. It's my official beer fridge.
No doubt. No doubt.
That's your contribution to the garage. Aaron Dibburn. I think we're answering your question tonight.
No, it might be a different one. Or is it? Yeah.
Aaron D.
Yeah.
We are going to answer your question
One of them.
later tonight. So hang on, Aaron.
Yeah, hang on. Yeah. Matter of fact, your question kind of sparked the topic for tonight. So that's pretty awesome.
So thank you, Aaron.
What's up, Rochelle? Yeah, hold on to that. Yeah, Wildwood is finally here. Yep.
It's coming up.
Yep.
Next weekend.
It's going to be warm. I hope it's sunny at least.
A lot of buzz in 2023 about 74 weld portal axles. I know last week you dug into the 10K hypothetical builds, but if you had 25 to burn, would you do a lift, etc., or portals?
Dude, the 74 weld portals are amazing.
So one of the things that 74 Weld has is they have this software that there's a fine line of gear mesh ratio and gear face ratio mesh, and there's a percentage that you work with, and if you can get that percentage above a certain number, you never hear it.
Yep.
So they were able to, because if you get between like 30 and I think 60%, they become very loud because of how much gear mesh ratio they have.
Yeah.
That's face-to-face gear contact.
Yep.
But they were able to get it up higher, so when they're in full contact, you never hear them.
Oh.
And they're still using a helical gear.
Yeah. I know our friend, the podcast Tanner, put those particular
They're
portals
like bulletproof too.
in their Gladiator in Rockslide Engineer Gladiator, and it's he was doing 80 all the way to SEMA.
Yep.
To
6 points.
he has the Hemi
6.6 liter.
Yeah, and with those portals.
Yep.
That thing has clearance for days.
Yes, it does.
Clearance for days.
Lots of clearance. But yeah, I would do a set of portals. No questions about it.
Yeah, if budget was unlimited.
Yeah, I mean, do portals, which gives you, I think, 3 inches.
It might be more than that.
I forget what it is.
I want to say it's more than that.
3 or 5.
Yeah, I don't remember, but man, just seeing that set up.
But then you put like a 2.5-inch lift kit on it.
Right.
And you can run like 40s on
Yep.
a.
Yeah.
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 It's awesome. It's wide though.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a wide girl going down the road.
I mean, you want it wide. That stance is for real.
I forget. How much are the 74?
I looked at one time and I don't remember. I was thinking somewhere between the 7 and 10 grand. Yeah, could be wrong.
Jeep portals. How much? I want them. Give me now.
Give me all the portals. All right, how are we doing here? All right, we've got a little bit of number on here. We could use a little more, so if you can, go out and share it and get people on. What's up, Mike?
It is $25,197.
What?
Oh, holy bejesus. Ho, 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 ho. Oh.
Oh.
Wow.
I guess Joe put that in there. If you had $25,000 to burn, would you do it a lift kit or portals?
Well, $25,000 doesn't even cover it, man. I need another $197, and that doesn't even include tax.
Yeah.
So add 6% on top of that. That hurts.
I see
That's
that.
my
I see that
25K.
now. Yeah, I see that
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Oh, that hurts. That hurts a lot.
Well, yeah.
They're really cool. They're really cool. You know what's cooler?
You could have a second Jeep almost for that. All right. I almost want to get this party started.
You know what's cooler though? Tracks.
Oh, tracks are cool for sure. Tracks are
cooler,
started. Yeah.
and you can get them a whole lot cheaper than portals.
True.
Hit the button.
True. I'm gonna hit the button. It's time. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Jeep Life Podcast. We're that podcast that we celebrate that Jeep life and everything that goes along with it. And we are proudly presented by Armalite, the toughest flooring on the trail. They've got you covered. Matter of fact, they keep you covered. They keep you out of the mud, snow, and everything in the interior. You just hose it down. If you need a full set in your Jeep, which you do, I say you do, then go right now to goarmalite.com and order a full system for your Jeep and put in the Jeep Life Podcast 10 for a complete Armalite system. And that's at goarmalite.com, and we thank them for sponsoring this podcast.
I step on it every day.
Every day. Hey, everybody, I'm Jeep and Terry, and that's my good buddy Break It Bill coming at you.
What's going on, man?
Hey, man. I know we haven't seen each other since last Sunday.
Yeah, it's been a little while.
Yeah,
I'm doing a lot better this week than last week.
Yeah, you are.
Yep.
I saw Big Red not in the garage, but
It's outside.
It's
you know,
outside?
It's all put back together.
that's awesome.
Nice handful of bolts left over, though.
I saw the picture of that. I'm like, well, that's done in perfect breakability fashion. Keep those bolts in a baggie.
Weight reduction, guys. Weight reduction. It's all about weight reduction on the daily driver.
Yeah, more horses.
Mm-hmm.
More horses, less bolts.
Yep. Absolutely. I agree with that.
It's a custom build.
Yeah.
Nice.
100% custom at this point.
So you got it all back together. I saw those welds. They were nice.
Yes.
Nice and beefy.
Yep. So I basically completely removed the axle out from underneath the Jeep, put it on some stands, and beat the living crap out of it. And got it straight again. So twisted the whole axle tube inside the housing back straight again. Made sure it lined up. Welded it, all the plug welds again, all the way around all four, and then welded the outside tube to the housing. And
Yeah, it shouldn't
did
go
it
anywhere.
on both sides.
Shouldn't go anywhere
Yep. Shouldn't.
now. It shouldn't.
And then removed I actually fixed the locker too. I had an issue with the copper line.
Oh, yeah.
Had a little.
While you're down there.
Yeah, when I was in there, so I removed the locker, took out the seal area, and had to drill out the old copper line and put a new one in, and resoldered it in there. So reset up the housing, and put it all back together. Removed the geometry correction brackets, and somehow it drives down the road straight.
Well, after all that done, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I have done exactly 0 with my Jeep this week. No, yeah, 0. I was really focused in on other things. It was kind of weird.
Sometimes you have to.
Sometimes. So it was. I did drive around with my top down for a few days. That was kind of nice. Yeah. Me anytime I can.
I got a hard top, so.
Yeah. Kind of limits it.
Yeah. Limits the taking off.
Yeah, it does a little bit. I it's good to be back in doing our thing together. I miss you. I admire the work you did on Big Red this week. That
it was a lot.
It was really impressive.
Oh gosh.
Really impressive. Yeah, it was. So kudos to you. Now, we did have an awesome listener question.
Yes.
And that is kind of driven the topic for tonight.
It was sent in via email. So
yes.
Email us any questions you got, info@jeeplifepodcast.com.
Yes, please do that.
info@jeeplifepodcast.com.
Make me have to read it.
Yes.
But the first question, is how do I know if my U-joints are going bad on a 14 JKU with 140,000 miles? Squeezing while moving only? In question mark. But thank you, Aaron, for sending that in.
So this question has evolved a little bit more. Aaron also asked, how do I know if my rear drive shaft is squeaking or is it something else? So it sounds like he's kind of dialing in the location of where this squeaking is coming from.
Yes.
So first off, let's start off with U-joints. U-joints tend to, when they start to fail, which you have 140,000 miles on it, something's starting to go, man.
Yeah. It's 3 years older than mine.
Yep.
And more miles.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's definitely, things are at the end of their life.
Yep.
U-joints tend to sound like a clunk.
Yep.
Because what happens is inside of them, the little needle bearings wear out and they turn to dust, and then you get play in it. So the forks or the they start to rock in the caps.
Yep. Yep.
So it's usually a clunk on a acceleration or a deceleration. They can also squeal sometimes, but it's normally a clunk.
Okay.
Squeaking and squealing usually tends to be a bearing going bad, or a pinion seal that's starting to go bad, or if you still have the Rezepa joint, so if you still have stock drive shafts, which has a CV style drive shaft, when they start to go bad, they can squeal, and then they start to sound like a box of chains and like rattling around.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, I would say a U joint is more of a clunk on an acceleration or a deceleration, and then
Well, he says it's not the front one, so that's out of the equation. It
Right.
says it's new, but that doesn't always mean
well, I mean, it could still be in the back.
right.
Like
Right.
yeah,
More than likely, it is in the back,
yeah.
but
Clunk can also be that your pinion bearing is starting to loosen up,
yeah.
and it's actually rocking in that
Mm.
in the differential.
So when my front drive shaft went,
Yeah,
it was clicking whenever I would go into 4-wheel drive.
yeah. That happens
Any other
too.
time, it was fine, but when I engaged it with the transfer case,
It would click. Yeah.
Yeah, and I could tell. I mean, I could feel it.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely, it's something going on with that. And later on in the episode, we're going to touch deeper on some of those
Yes.
driveline failures and why it could be, and maybe there might be some solutions in there or some things to look at. But that's coming up later. So Aaron, thanks for that question, and we hope we come up with an answer for you. Or at least give you places to look
Yeah.
while we're at it. My favorite thing in the world is listener reviews.
Mm-hmm.
And we got 2 in this week. And both of them for
Big
Facebook.
week.
It's a big week. Both of them for Facebook. First one from friend of the podcast, Michael Fennel. Really, really good dude. It says, the Jeep Life podcast is a much watch / listen for anyone in the Jeep community. They host and promote events, give expert advice, and provide discount codes to
I
many.
wouldn't say an expert.
Yeah, he's giving us a lot of credit here, but I appreciate it. To many of the top aftermarket manufacturers. They're a great group of Jeepers that do an amazing service to the community. Regardless if you're a new owner or an experienced off-roader, you will benefit from giving them a listen.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, man, that feels good.
We appreciate that.
Yeah, and he's got a 392 as well.
Yes.
And that thing is,
It roars.
it does roar. Oh my God.
Yeah.
His previous Jeep was killer,
Mm-hmm.
but this 392 is
It's a lot.
it's for real.
Yeah. So Jameson Bate from Facebook found these guys to be a great starting point after picking up my first Wrangler and realizing how involved the lifestyle was. Are they digging deep technical topics and brushing the surface of others depending on the episode? All love learning from their expertise and intend to remain a loyal listener.
Woo!
Woo!
That's awesome.
I butchered that, but
Dude, I need to find a better way to put
can't
these in the show
read
notes.
through the
Through the cable, through the mic, and finding yourself in a line. I need to do a better job with that.
figure it out.
But Jameson and Michael, thank you so much for that. If you want to leave us a review, which we love, go to wherever you get your podcasts, and if you get your app, from Apple Podcasts, go there. If you listen to us on YouTube, go there. Facebook, wherever you get it, go leave us a review. It just helps people find us. And the more people that find us and listen, the better things are. The more stuff we can do for you.
Yeah.
All right. News.
Jeep news in the news.
We need a theme song there. I'll work on that. I think
Yeah.
you just gave us one. I'll see if I can
That's bad.
edit that to be any cooler. So the Jeep brand, which we all know this isn't new for us.
Nope.
The Jeep brand, celebrating more than 8 decades of freedom, adventure, passion, and authenticity, has been once again named as America's most patriotic brand for the 22nd year in a row.
Well, it just screams America. Ah!
Jeep brand is the America's most patriotic, and that is according to the Brand Key's Most Patriotic Brand Survey.
We won a damn war with it.
No doubt. That should tell you everything you need to know. Consumers who were surveyed assess brands that best embody the value of patriotism in 2023. Yeah.
They hold up the wave is for victory because we won.
That's right. Since 1941.
V for victory.
Yes. So
Go America.
obviously this isn't news really. But it was. I saw it this week and I thought it had to go in and for everybody to. Yeah, I just wanted to share that.
Cool.
All right, where are we going to be?
Well, coming up next weekend, July 14th to the 16th, we are going to be in Wildwood, New Jersey for the New Jersey Jeep Invasion.
Yeah.
And right now, we are going to have a listener night.
Oh yeah.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
So, where are we going to be? Where are we going to be at? Check the Facebooks, check the Instagrams, and we'll be releasing
A location.
a location.
And it's yeah,
Probably going to be on Saturday night.
yeah. That'd be a good night for
we'll
it.
figure out the location. It will be an easy location.
You know, something everybody can get to if you're there.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah. So come say hi to us.
Come hang out with the Jeep Life podcast.
Absolutely. July 15th is WJ Semi Meet and Greet in Fenton, Michigan, which is
All right.
going to be a great time if you're in the area.
We won't be there.
We won't be there. July 22nd to the 23rd is PA All Breeds Jeep Fest in Carlisle, Pennsylvania.
Yes.
And then also, I forgot to add this one in again. July 21st is Skid Row Off-Road.
That's right.
Open house at Skid Row Off-Road Shop in Carlisle. Head over to their Facebook. They have all their information right there. Skid Row Off-Road, Carlisle, Pennsylvania. It's the open house, and it's the pre-party to the party at PA All Breeds Jeep Fest.
Yeah, and it's a good time. And they make some killer
They make
stuff.
really good products.
Yep, for sure.
August 4th to the 6th is the Toledo, Ohio Jeep Fest in Toledo, Ohio.
Yeah. That's the birthplace of the Jeep.
Yep.
Well, one of.
One of.
That's where all of them are made currently.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Assembled.
Yes.
August 24th to the 26th is Great Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. We're going to be there. Are you? Make sure you say hi if you're there.
Yeah, come see us. Maybe we'll do
We got to do something.
a
down
location
there,
there too.
too. Yep, we should.
We should.
And then August 25th to the 26th is the Townsend Takeover out after hours in Townsend, Tennessee at Cades Cove area.
Yeah,
That sounds like a good time.
Jeremy Roban, friend of the podcast, is going to be there.
Cool.
I think Tennessee Holy Water, Mr. Gray, Rattle Trap. It's a good time for something to do in the afternoon, evening thing.
August 24th to the 27th is Ocean City Jeep Week in Ocean City, Maryland.
We won't be there.
We won't be there. August 27th is the Warren Ride at Windrock, Tennessee, and that is the Warren Customer Ride. September 8th to the 10th is Detroit 4 Fest in Holly, Michigan, which sounds like going to be a great time. And then September 16th is Jeep Enthusiast of Eastern Pennsylvania's Fall Trail Ride.
Yes, come out and hang with us at AOA.
Yep.
Cool. Those are great events, and I'm excited. We talked about this off air before we went on, and I'm excited about a Jeep a Jeep Life podcast takeover of a location somewhere.
Cool.
An impromptu takeover.
Yep.
That'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
So come see us. Whew, all right, so we've talked about it before, but our main topic tonight is common driveline failures and issues. This
Yep.
all came out Aaron's question, and I know that he's posted a couple questions while things have been going on.
Hmm.
We'll see where things go, but I might break in and
Yeah.
commentary, but this is your expertise.
So we're gonna start from the outside and work our way in.
Perfect.
First, in the front, we have these things called unit bearings. You know what a unit bearing is, right?
Yes.
So it is basically a packed unit bearing that has your flange, which is your mounting flange for the wheel. It has studs that go through that, and that goes into your bearing setup, and then it mounts to your axle,
Yep.
your knuckle. So they do go bad over time.
Yep.
Things that accelerates them going bad is high heat situations. So if you have a brake failure, so if you have a lot of heat buildup in
Yep.
that unit bearing area. Also, their seals just go bad in general. So they tend to sound like they do squeal sometimes. They squeak. They can sound like a box of chains. They tend to sound like a bad skateboard truck. So like when the bearings go bad on a
Yep.
skateboard wheel,
Yep.
and you could spin it, and it sounds like
Yeah.
yeah. That's what a unit bearing sounds like when it goes bad.
So I replaced my unit bearing when my
Probably
really close time to do that.
Yes, it is usually a good idea. Your wheel speed sensors in the 2007 and newer has the wheel speed sensor in the unit bearing. Previous to that, the TJ used a different type of wheel speed sensor. So high heat situations, yes, they're packed units, so they're internally contained of grease and oil and this and that. So over time, it just goes bad, and if water or aggregate gets into it, it's gonna.
Now, with that? I know they're a sealed unit. Is there maintenance to be done on those, or just full unit replacement?
Just unit replacement. You can go online and purchase the entire thing.
Yep, and they're not that expensive if you're just doing one or two.
Yep.
It adds
If
up
you do
over four.
one, I would recommend doing
two,
both,
yeah.
because you're going to be taking it apart. So then moving inwards, you're going to hit one of the style of U-joints. And this is a C-clip U-joint that goes into your axle shafts in the front. They tend to give you a clunk when they start going bad, because it's, when you decelerate or accelerate, you'll hear that wheel turn in relation to the axle shaft.
Yeah, because you're putting tension on it that it's built to handle that tension, but when it starts to fail, then
right, it's a little bit of a different tension too. So when you're driving in four-wheel drive, you'll hear it a lot more. But if you're just out on the highway, you'll just hear it like rotate back and forth. The ways to look and see if that's failing is you can lift up your front axle and spin your tire, and you'll see if the inner axle shaft moves in relation to the outer axle shaft.
Okay, yeah.
And you can check that way.
All right.
Moving in, obviously, you can break an axle shaft in the front or the rear.
Yeah.
And then axle seals. If you have that common drip that comes out of your axle tube and it runs down the inner C, and it's creating a nice little puddle in your driveway, that's probably your axle seal.
Or splatters off the inside of your tire.
It splatters off the inside of your tire, yep. Unfortunately, these are an intensive process to fix in the front. You do have to remove everything. You got to take out the whole carrier and remove all the axle shafts and the unit bearings and everything. It really stinks to do that.
Yeah, and you just if you have to re-gear, you do it at that time.
You do it at that time. Or if you can live with it and you just add a little bit of fluid to it every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yep.
That'll do it too.
Also, so we're going to move to the rear real quick. You have wheel bearings, which are actually pressed to your axle shaft. So on a Jeep Wrangler JK up until now 2024, it was a semi-float axle, which means that the axle flange at the end has your studs in it, and that connects directly inside your to the axle shaft that runs into your differential. So that's a semi-float, and that means that the bearings are pressed on to the axle shaft. Also in that setup is the axle seal as well. So that is, unfortunately, if your rear axle seal starts to go, you do have to pull out your axle shaft and replace the bearing, and it's probably a good time just to replace the entire thing.
Right.
Yep.
Yep.
So, and then moving back into both the front and the rear, you can have carrier bearings go bad. I haven't really heard many of them go bad, but sometimes if you have a lot of shavings in your axle,
Yeah.
from, any reason, they can start to go bad. They don't tend to go bad. What normally can happen is you will have a pinion seal that goes bad over time, and you can tell that by just it leaking down the front of the axle, front or rear. You'll see it starting to run down that. And then what that happens is it'll lead to dirt getting into your pinion bearings, and they can go bad. They sound like a box of rocks.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes they can squeal. Sometimes you can actually like put pressure on the pinion, and you can get it